Well, here we go, my friend, on the second take of my video. I got too excited the first take, so you're going to redo it again from my 1970s YouTube channel. Thanks for watching the video. I'm glad you're here to watch the video because I want to tell you about some songs going to one of my favorite years, 1970, for my 70s YouTube channel. Billboard's Hot 100 of September 12, 1970. Before I get to song number 95 that week. Let me read you the top 5 hits from the week of September 12, 1970. At number 5, we got Looking Through My Back Door, or Looking Out My Back Door by Creedence, up from number 10 that week. Chicago at number 4 with their second top 10 hit, 25 or 6 to 4. Mungo Jerry in the Summertime at number 3. Diana Ross, Ain't No Mountain High Enough at number 2 that week, September 12, 1970. A song that was written might have been, well, I know it was written by Ashford and Simpson. Pretty sure it was written by Ashford and Simpson. And number 1, War by Edmund Starr. Motown still a force in the early 70s. All the way down to number 95. My goodness, we got a classic. We have got a legendary progressive band from England that never made it on a commercial level here in America, at least as far as having hit singles concerned. Empty Pages by Traffic coming in at number 95. Traffic, they formed in the West Midlands in England back in the spring of 1967. Now get this, the alumni, Steve Winwood of the Spencer Davis Group. Spencer Davis Group, Give Me Some Lovin', I'm a Man, and there was a couple others. Was to Keep On Running was another one. They had 4. Well, they had 2 top 10 hits in America, 4 top 10 hits in the UK, native UK. Steve Winwood left the band. He helped form the group Traffic in 1967 along with Jim Capaldi, Chris Wood, Dave Mason, also in that band of Traffic. They jammed together at the Elbow Room in Birmingham, a nightclub in Birmingham, England, and the chemistry clicked. They were like, let's form a band. They did. And get this, they rented out a college in rural England, the steep English countryside. One of these rural cottages where they wrote songs. They started gigging together, jamming and writing songs. Traffic did, and they signed a deal with Island Records, and they put out some singles that were not real big in England, but in Canada. Get this, Paper Sun, their debut single, went to number 4 in Canada. Also, Hole in My Shoe also went to number 4 in Canada. They put out about 3 albums. Traffic did, but in 1969, the Traffic more or less broke up when Steve Winwood joined the band Blind Faith. But in 1970, Traffic reunited for an album, one of their critically acclaimed albums, called John Barleycorn. John Barleycorn Must Die. Name of the album. And that yielded a hit single. Well, not really a big hit, but their Billboard Hot 100 entry called Empty Pages. Went to number 74. It peaked at number 74. But get this. For a song that only got as high as number 74, it stayed on Billboard's Hot 100 for 2 months. It was on Billboard's Hot 100 for 8 weeks. This was a record that was not played on the AM radio stations. This is one of these songs that you gig to on the FM stations back in the day. Back in the late 60s and even into the early 70s, a lot of the FM stations, particularly in the major markets like San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, New York City, they played all this progressive music that you could hear on stations like KHJ or WLS, say in Chicago. And well, everybody knows about Steve Winwood. Higher Love, Roll With It back in the 80s, had those scintillating R&B pop records back in the 80s. But let's talk about Jim Capaldi. You don't hear too much about Jim Capaldi. Jim Capaldi, I guess his biggest American hit as a solo artist was That's Love. Very laid back song. It's so bland that you get hooked into it. It's true. Something can be so bland, so laid back. You're like, man, I'm just getting. It's like falling asleep, but it's like, well, you're enjoying it. It's relaxing. That's love. But he also, Jim Capaldi, he came out with a version of Love Hurts, which was originally done by the Everly Brothers, covered by Roy Orbison. Love Hurts later became a massive hit for Nazareth here in America, but in England it was Jim Capaldi's version that went top 5 in 1975 of Love Hurts. And Dave Mason, well, what can I say? We just disagree in 1977, but in the summer of 1970, also on this hit parade of September 12, 1970, he had a hit of his own. Only you know and I know. All right, well, this is it for Traffic. This is Empty Pages.